Hi, it's Jason here from Coastal Asbestos, the #1 asbestos removal company on the Gold Coast. Today I want to continue the series of interesting jobs we've done and places where people may not expect to find asbestos. So one of the, if you've ever met me, this is a story I'll be telling for the rest of my life. We were asked to come and have a look at a job for an earth moving company. They just won a contract for the ILS system for the Gold Coast the airport. So it's an instrument landing system. Now, what's significant about the instrument landing system is that it's a safe way in heavy weather for pilots to land at Gold Coast Airport. So this project is worth millions and millions of dollars to the Gold Coast Airport and obviously to the Gold Coast community and tourism sector, because it allows planes to fly in bad weather. So airlines have got more confidence that they can. And so what happens is basically, I think it sends out a ping and it's a radar, and they just come in by radar. But this thing had some infrastructure that had to be set up at Gold Coast Airport. Now, when you get a phone call about come and work at the airport, you think, oh my God, this is going to be pretty full on. We're in post 9/11 and security is a big deal. So we were sort of at the start, I was more concerned about the security parameters. So we went down and met with the builder of the earthworking company, and he explained to me very calmly that he had 23,000 cubic meters of soil to remove, and he needed it sorted and transported to asbestos waste facility, and that he had tried and couldn't find anybody that would help him. He even had an email from Workplace Health and Safety Queensland saying, we know what you want to do, we know what your challenges are, good luck finding someone. I was probably in that meeting with the Hazel Brothers guys for, probably about 2 or 3 hours that day, going through all of the stuff that they needed to do. Now, what they'd done is, basically they had to level the land on one side of the airport because you can't have all this water run across the airport, because they'd had drains in between it, but now they were removing the fence and this thing was going to be part of the flight area. So previously, back in the day, that site was the Tugun Tip. Now, the tip's been closed for a long time, but back in the old days, there was asbestos was just part of the waste, normal waste. So it just went with everything. So there was not like now where they have specific asbestos areas and all this kind of stuff. Now, our site was determined by environmentalists, not me, that some of the waste could be re-interned on site. Now, and that was 1 kilometre away from where we were digging it up, or roughly 1 kilometre. So our site was like 1.4 kilometres long from the front gate to the back gate, and probably 300 or 400 metres wide. And we had to remove 23,000 cubic metres. I come up with a system of air monitoring, foggers, people on site to constantly monitor it. They looked after all the earthworks and all that kind of stuff, but we had to have air monitors around the site. We had to have air monitors along the whole road, air monitors at the reinterment site. Now, what they decided was they needed to sort these materials. And because it's asbestos, you can't put it on a shaker or a screen, which is what they would usually do. So we decided on using a sieve bucket. I think it was 100 mil, so anything bigger than 100 mil would fall through this sieve bucket, and everything would be checked as the bucket went aside. So the materials were sorted, anything bigger was set aside, and we sort of just put it on the ground and had a look at it. Now, this is a tip, this is an old tip. So there were car bodies, there were fridges, there were massive big concrete slabs, trees, poles, posts, just boats, anything you can think of. Massive piles of wood, massive deposits of asbestos from which I can tell you would have been from an asbestos roof or an asbestos fence. And there was just totally unpredictable. There were bits everywhere. So the job ran for about 3 months. We got every single day we had the air monitoring running. We never got one result that's above the parts per million that's required in the Act. We never had one incident, we didn't even have a hit, near miss, and we were able to get the site cleared by hygienists. Every single truck that come in and out of the gate, it got checked by hygienists. So getting back to the big stuff, so the big stuff went up to Ramondas on big truck and dogs. So it was a massive thing. Like, we had a couple of excavators going, we had 4 tip trucks just doing that loop down the haul road, and then big truck and dogs taking away the big stuff, and that was went to Ramondas. That was an asbestos related tip, because no one was going to say this is clear, this isn't clear. So everything was handled as though it was asbestos, and that was a big challenge. So we still have a great relationship with those guys. It's probably one of the biggest projects we'll ever be involved in. 23,000 cubic metres of asbestos impacted soil. We had daily hygienist visits, daily air monitoring. We used a fogger, and that was how we managed any sort of dust that came out of the excavation. We had to have a guy stand there all day and point the fogger at the machines. We had a big water tank, and we were washing the equipment, because nothing could leave site that had been in the contaminated area. It was just a massive effort of sectioning off, creating barricades, creating demilitarised areas where you just couldn't go, no-go zones, sorry, and managing that traffic and flow so that everybody was safe. And it was a great project. It's probably one of the most rewarding one we ever did. So that's it for that job. I'll have some photos up of the project and just the scale of it and what we were able to do. So that's another place that you wouldn't think. You probably will now, oh, of course, an old dump, but in the ground next to an airport, could be anywhere, any sort of block of land that been used as a dump in the past, I can guarantee you will have some asbestos in it somewhere, because it wasn't treated as a hazardous material. It was just put in with all the other stuff, construction and demolition waste. So that's it for me today. Jason from Coastal Asbestos. If you like this video, there's hundreds more over in our YouTube channel. It's the world's biggest resource of asbestos related material and awareness videos. Thank you. Catch you later.